below something. Just when I thought I had it almost perfect, I fucked it up. Hey, there we go. Welcome back to the In and Out Podcast. This is another episode. We are coming to you live in locate. I said live in location. I'm copying some shit. Yeah, welcome back. We have a really interesting conversation today off of a very interesting interview we had recently with Mr. Ben Fodemaker. Ben Olivias. Fuck! Jesus
you had
Christ.
so many chances.
I had it.
It's literally recorded. And
Look.
you found a way to mess it up every time.
Oh, God. But our friend Ben, we had a really good conversation with our friend Ben. Ben was a developer for a lot of games. He's worked on Valorant. He worked on the recent God of War Ragnarok, as well as the upcoming Harry Potter Legacy game, or Hogwarts Legacy, I believe is what it's called. The issue that Ben has, Ben himself identifies as queer, and he's Latinx as well as Jewish. And a big issue he said he had a very he had to contemplate his feelings on supporting and working on that game with JK Rowling, the creator who makes monetary gain off of the IP. He felt weird about putting money in her pocket through something like that did not support his existence, damn near, or people within his community's existence. So that proceeded to have me and Ethan have an interesting conversation, because I thought about it honestly. I was like, I know it's easy to say you're not going to support something that goes against who you are primarily as a person. But in Ben's situation, Ben was poor and couldn't damn eat, so he literally had to take that job to eat. So that's where he had a difficulty in his psyche fighting with, is that he was supporting this thing and knowing he had no other decision. It was die of starvation or do this thing.
Or do this,
Right.
So that brought in the conversation that we wanted to have for this, as far as the ability to separate the art from the artist itself. Obviously, you have, I guess, instances of people that like R. Kelly, or let's say if you're a Kodak Black fan or Lil Wayne fan, in which they did some very controversial shit, R. Kelly specifically, over the last couple years. Well, R. Kelly back fucking decades, but he did some controversial stuff dating back a while now. But it seems that some people were able to separate the art or the music that those individuals made from those people themselves, and some people they forgot about it. I open up the floor to Otis, since you weren't here for the conversation. How do you really feel on the topic as far as separating the art from the artist?
That is a generally difficult topic in general, just because when you think of the art individually by itself, like this let's go we can go full tilt and go with a R. Kelly song, pick one. Like, and you can think back to all the moments that R. Kelly song was played, like, weddings, family reunions, and stuff like that.
Right.
And you can tie that to that. And I don't think that those moments should be tarnished by what the artist does, but I don't think you can still celebrate the artist even though you have those moments, if that makes any sense. Like,
Right.
like it's a necessity. It's a necessity to keep those two things separate, because if you don't, like, I don't know, it makes you almost tarnishes those moments for you.
Right.
But at the same time, like, you can't, like, just because you had those happy moments, you can't just go ahead and be like, oh, he's great though. Like, he made me happy in my time. I'm gonna support him no matter what he does. Like, you can't. You have to keep those two things completely separate, in my personal opinion.
What if you're in a situation in regards to where you can keep the artist and the person separate, but that artist is still making monetary gain off of that product, no matter if you have it separate or not? Like, so you're still supporting that person, even if you don't think you are, or if you're not aware of it.
Right. And when I say separate the past from the present, like, I mean that in general. Like, even if you didn't know that person was horrible in the past, like, you can't bring that into now, and vice versa. Now that you know that person is horrible, you can't bring that past in, saying like, oh, I had these great moments, so I'm gonna go, oh, it's an R. Kelly concert, I gotta go to that. It's an R. Kelly, tribute on VH1 or whatever channel would want to touch that toxic mess of a thing right now. Like, no, like, you can't support that. But I don't think you should, like, just nuke your music catalog and Spotify if you I don't, but then that's complicated too, because in that you are still contributing to that person's wealth. So that is tough. That's
Right.
tough.
That's where it gets real tricky, and that's something that Ben brought up yesterday was the idea that he made it clear that him and all the people that he's worked with, especially that are in the LGBTQ community that have worked on this project, this upcoming project, they are already paid for the work they've done, and they do not see any royalties for any sales on the
Right.
games. And that he and all of pretty much all the ones he's talked to, all the people he's talked to, his coworkers, are not purchasing the game because of this.
Right.
Because any sales made from this game will go to filling the coffers of Ms. Rowling. So that's kind of how it gets. So it's like Deb was, talking about, like, for example, with R. Kelly, would you continue to download music off of, from R.
I'm never
Kelly?
downloading the new R. Kelly album. I can say that for
Nigga,
sure.
when are we ever getting a new R. Kelly album?
Right.
Well,
You
no,
gotta
no,
go
no, we're not getting
first.
a new one,
You
but I
gotta
mean,
go
like,
jail first.
Oh,
right. But
yeah.
that kind of that's the idea. Is like, even though would you continue to purchase those things? I mean, to put it into terms that could hit me more personally. Hypothetically speaking, I'm a huge DBZ fan, Dragon Ball Z fan. If Akira Toriyama came out and said some wild shit, like, just like, run them niggas down with the car, it's like, I don't know that I could keep watching Dragon Ball Z or.
First of all, if that happens, it's gonna be a revolution at that.
Yeah, because it's funny how large of a fan base are blurs that support DBZ and anime in general, but like they would it'd be a riot. But again,
Yes.
that's kind of it is comparable to, like, there are so many people that love Harry Potter, supported Harry Potter, grew up with Harry Potter, the whole universe, the whole world, the idea, it felt a nice safe place for them to go, and to have it that the person who created it is basically like saying, in a way, you're not welcome to a large fan base. Can you imagine what that's like?
Right.
To feel almost betrayed and
Because it's
shunned by
something
someone.
you're emotionally invested into.
Right.
It's like, oh, this wasn't for you.
Yeah.
Why are you reading my shit? Basically.
Yes.
A compounded issue on top of that is that in this particular case with JK Rowling, she's using her monetary gain and money from anything she's using or gaining in funding organizations or things that go against the LGBTQ, or at least I think the trans community specifically.
For turfs. Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
so you're having the issue of the moral dilemma of you supporting something you love, even though that person doesn't believe in you existing, on top of you giving her ammunition to go about going against you and the people within your community.
Right.
Yeah.
And
the tough thing I had, because I told Ben this too on the show, me personally, Harry Potter in particular really meant a lot to me in my lifetime. Well, I said my lifetime, in my early development as a person. It brought a lot of joy to me, kept me out of a lot of depressions and a lot of difficult things I had going on in my life. And this game, like also Ben said this too yesterday, that people have been waiting on this game in particular for a very long time. In the game which you could create your own person, be immersed in this world and experience all this stuff. Because before in other games you were kind of just following Harry's journey. In this one, you're your own person, and it's really tough for me. Which I came to the conclusion that I'm still going to purchase this game, but I'm in no way. We'll probably announce it on the podcast on different socials that we're not going to do a review on it. We're not going to support it in any way. I'm not going to give any critique on it because I'm going to have to let this be my personal experience, and I very much do so support the LGBTQ community, and that's the one thing that I struggle with. And as a person, I'm not perfect, and that's my own selfish greed there. But it's like just the nostalgia to myself and how much it meant to me. Like this game in particular, for anybody watching and was wondering what this game is, this is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, PlayStation 2 game. I don't know when it came out exactly, but games like this help me become who I am as a person. And I'm not really thinking JK4, but the selfishness in me needs something like this.
It's like, you don't have to thank her for it. Your $60 will.
Exactly, and that's the tough thing about it too.
It's a weird field to navigate because there's even in other regards too. For example, if you think about something like, obviously we got to talk about Cosby. I mean, that's literally a show called
Right.
We Need to Talk About Cosby, made by Kamau Bell. I grew up when I was younger in the 80s, my family watching that show religiously, and he did that show, and that person did so much for our community, and it made me feel so much pride in being black and taking and trying to have an interest in things that wanted to further my education, all that kind of stuff, and to see that in a way, it felt like it was all just a lie, and he was a monster. I felt betrayed. But that doesn't change, like Otis said, that doesn't change the fact that those memories I had with my parents watching that show as a kid, that pride that I had, all that's still real. He can't take that away. So
Right.
and like in Dev's case, how much the Harry Potter series itself helped him, the artists themselves can take that away. In a lesser extent, nowhere near as evil, people were giving George Lucas a hard time for Star Wars because of what he did with the prequels and whatnot. It's like, and they were kind of saying there's a documentary called "The People versus George Lucas." George Lucas is not a bad person at all. He was just was kind of wasn't necessarily the most the wisest with some of his storytelling. That's not a crime by any means. But the thing is, the pride, the amount of like the joy that Star Wars brought to so many people, that art in and of itself is almost separate in some ways from the artist.
Right.
So it's
Another example I'll
weird.
bring up that probably Otis, you probably yourself, you being a fan of this person, in regards to Kanye West, when he had that whole run and being a Trump supporter and wearing the MAGA hat and all the other stuff going on, his music meant a lot to the black community in particular, and inspired him as the culture he created. Not only just the black community, but you see the reach that Yeezy brand has, and anything he dropped musically before that was gold shit. Even now with Donda, it's platinum, it's gold. And you saw that happen, and people within the community judged him and did all this other stuff to him. But you still saw that his records and his music were still selling. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a thing that inherently people separate the art from the artist when you can be greedy, when it benefits you and how you feel. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people I've met his music has helped them out of a tough place as well. It's weird. It's like an unspoken thing in which we do it when it benefits us, but when it doesn't benefit us, we have significant issues with other people doing that particular thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm certain there are plenty of. I mean, we're talking about the examples that we know of. I'm sure there are plenty of things that have been created that we love that we still cherish now. We just don't know that what the artist is doing and how
Exactly.
horrible they may be.
Right.
Because yeah. Oh man. I mean, more stuff comes out every year about some horrible thing that some super famous person did years ago. That was like, oh, look at what's her name from Smallville, the girl that played
Yeah.
Chloe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the one that was
cultist,
Chloe.
that
I
sex
think it was
cult.
Chloe,
Yeah.
It's something Sullivan or
Chloe Sullivan. That was her
Chloe
I think
character.
it's Chloe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can character. Yeah.
But like at this point, there's almost nothing a celebrity can do that to surprise me. But yeah, some people just so happen to be rich and not so good people behind closed doors. It's not something that you can really control,
Right.
but they still create what they create at the end of the day.
That's also
Yeah.
a tough thing too, is that a lot of these things that come about are announced and found out after they've had years of accumulating fans and people idolizing him and things like that. So then now you're stuck now. Like a lot of this stuff, like if this Trump shit came out before, like when Kanye's career first started off, nigga, nobody would give this nigga a time
You
of day.
just stomp down.
Yeah, nobody would even listen to his music.
Right.
Nigga, if
No.
I find out J. Cole's like a cannibal in a year, I'm about to be so pissed. I'm going to be so pissed.
Right.
I'm going to be so pissed.
Be with me here. Like if I found out J. Cole was a cannibal, I'm still buying the music.
Damn.
I am. That's not good.
I
That is
mean,
not good.
I can't really because like one of my favorite characters in fiction is a cannibal. So I was like,
but you're
I
not.
have to give that same energy.
Here's the thing. There's so many things to break down about this. Otis East, one of my best friends in the world. Hannibal Lecter, who I love to pieces too, isn't real. No matter what you do on a Tuesday or a Thursday, that man is not real. J. Cole is 100% real. I just got turned on to J. Cole. I mean, I know who he is, of course. I heard a couple songs kind of passing briefly, but my buddy Charlie Wilson, aka Dev, aka Superman, made me a huge playlist featuring a lot of J. Cole on
Otis
it. I've
assisted with that
listened
too.
to it.
I'll give Otis some credit on that too. Otis give me a lot of songs about on there too.
And I'm sure Otis gave a lot of songs as well. I mean, J. Cole is he's a massive hit, massive star. But I've just listened to him a lot, at least recently. And he's great. He's a very, very talented man. But if I found out that dude was involved in eating his own kind, it's like, I'm not gonna keep listening to that. What are you doing? What are you talking about? No.
Hey, bro, what do you say in applying pressure? He said we offing niggas. So he kind of told us ahead of time. We just didn't believe him yet.
Right.
Often,
He
often and
always
eating are the
he
same
always
thing.
talking about how he's trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? He like with his come up. That was like one of his things.
What if he, man? Maybe he actually is. Y'all might want to watch out.
Hey, as long as like, I'm just gonna like not accept drinks from J. Cole at that point if I ever meet him. He's like, I'm not trying to like get dosed, but yeah, like.
So if J. Cole, if you found out J. Cole was a fat cannibal and he invited you over to his place, like, yo, Otis East, I'm in Chicago, your hometown. Come to my crib and let's have a big feast, have a dinner.
Why are you talking like that though?
I'm
That's the
bringing
question.
all of my guys with me. Like, we
rolling
will
deep.
be there in Florida.
It's a bunch of dreadhead niggas in this lobby, bro.
Yes, for sure.
I'm going.
For sure.
By yourself. That's all you.
Solo, no, we don't do that.
All right.
Don't go solo nowhere in Chicago, boy. That's how you get.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Chicago,
don't go solo nowhere in the city, honestly. That's how you get solved.
Chicago is
get them in a jigsaw trap like that.
Oh my God, jigsaw! It's pretty close to it. It's pretty close to it. But speaking of food, though, like Ray Kroc, I'm sure y'all know about Ray Kroc, the guy who he didn't found McDonald's, but he franchised it. That guy was a horrible asshole. I guarantee y'all, all of us have eaten McDonald's in our lifetime. So it's kind of like it's varying degrees of when you're willing to separate the art from the artist. If you're going to count McDonald's as art,
right? It's crazy too when you look at a lot of the it's been revealed a lot recently within the Black community. With you look at shit like the ice cream truck being a racist song. The mammy pappy visual imagery that you saw with Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben, shit like that. It's a lot of underlying racism shit that we never really questioned before.
Disney.
Oh God, yeah, Disney.
Some of those old cartoons.
Dumbo, the crows from Dumbo, Tom and Jerry.
There is a crow named Jim in Dumbo.
Mm-hmm.
The damn maid from Tom and Jerry, like. There's a lot of stuff like that we did not question, or like the monkey sock puppets that are popular. Well, I don't know if they're still popular like that, but that like it's insane how much underlying racism is around. And Ben did again speak on that, how we as Black men kind of could understand his plight with certain stuff, and I get that wholeheartily. But a lot of that shit I didn't even know about until by the time I found out about Aunt Jemima, they had already switched to the Aunt Pearl's Milling Company.
Right, or they even had with Uncle Ben's rice. They were planning on switching that too. So some of these things they've been around for so long.
Aunt Jemima's at Ollie's.
They do at your place of work. They still have.
I'm gonna go down the street to the Ollie's down the street and see if they still got that shit in there.
They might.
But some of these things have been around for so long that at the time, because you got to remember the idea. Now we're allowed to say, hey, stop being racist assholes. Back in the day, even somewhat, because a couple of decades ago, within our lifetimes, being that aware of things wasn't necessarily the popular trend or even allowed. So if you did something that was horribly offensive, it was the norm and it was almost encouraged.
That's fine. Also, I'm getting a lot of nostalgia from this game. The Chamber of Secrets, this game for me, I've played through this game so many times. This is the era of when we did not have a memory card in my house. So if we played any game, we had to run through that shit all in one go or leave the PlayStation on for 15 days straight until my mom accidentally kicks it out when she's cleaning or some shit.
God.
But this game was surprisingly deep and surprisingly big and large for the era and the time. Mm-hmm. If you're a Harry Potter fan, they ingratiate, especially Hogwarts in particular. There's a lot of different areas you can explore. It's really big. For all the Harry Potter games are surprisingly, I will say, sort of advanced for the time with how much exploration is in the game and how much it like ingratiates you into the world. That's as much I want to say on that one because it was dope. I got a lot of spells, but a lot of spells I forgot about. I don't know if some of these spells are actually in the actual movies or not. But I've never seen Flipendo be used in the movie before, but it's one of the spells that are like very used frequently in this game.
So it's no secret on this show that I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I respect it. I respect those that, of course, are big fans of it, and I love the idea of it that it's a book or a book series so well written that kids clamor to it, lined up for and just to read it. It's great. but it's also even all the worse because I used to have an adoration for, as a fellow writer, I used to have such adoration for JK when she was essentially poor and homeless, and she came up with this series trying to just make enough money to feed herself and her daughter, and she created this series. And then also it's like now all that adoration and respect I have is kind of gone for her. I can't
Right.
respect her anymore. It's weird feelings there. So.
Yeah, to get into her specifically, it's really fucked up to me that a lot of people that I know when it comes to the Harry Potter series, the fan base is a large group of LGBTQ people that love the series and grew up
Of
like
course.
adoring it. And so for you to have the people that put money in your pocket and fans of you to do that for you, and then you to turn around and support things that are in opposition to those people even existing or the idea of them existing, is kind of disgusting to me.
Yeah.
I already was annoyed with JK with her trying to like retcon shit after the fact, saying, "Oh yeah, there was a black wizard or there was a Jewish wizard that was in Hogwarts. You just never saw him." Like shit like that. So I was annoyed with that. But once I found out more so about the trans stuff, I was like, really? That's
And then the thing is, like, if you really think about the story of Harry Potter, like you can see how it relates to so many different communities, including the trans community and the black community. Like, this is a person that was treated bad since birth just for being them. Like,
Yeah.
and then they go off to discover this magical world where they can be great, and they were like the centerpiece of that. Like, that's something that anybody will want. They want to be saved from their, reality of being shunned or whatever that it is, and to be cherished and respected and grow into, something great. Like,
absolutely,
that's a easy story to attach yourself to.
Right.
And knowing that you have that world and it created a feeling something, but you don't even acknowledge a portion of your fan base. That's not a large portion. The people that are probably going to relate to it the most because they understand that exactly what Harry went through the most. Like,
and these are people I know. Like my old one of my old bosses, Brianna. She read all the books. She was even reading the Fantastic Beasts stuff. Anything she put out after Harry Potter, she was still reading. Up until she found out about all the stuff going on, and she herself is dating somebody that is they are trans within the community too. So it was like a whole, like me and her had a whole heart to heart about that, and it was really a wild thing. And it broke her heart, honestly, because
I can't imagine.
She loved the series, and she's like, damn, now I can't read this the same anymore. I can't support it in good conscience anymore because this goes against the person I love. Which, oh man, that's tough. Like, I can't imagine if like the NBA or some shit like that said, all right, we don't like black people. We think they should be controlled. I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in that mindset, in a similar mindset, to understand.
That's what I say. Isn't then there?
Yeah, but they got him up out of there though quickly. Like,
but he's not he isn't the NBA.
Yeah. So like I can't imagine if like it's like, okay, hypothetically speaking, the NBA keeps Donald Sterling around. Like he's he's a known racist, and now he's like on the court, he's talking to players and stuff, and we know you're a racist still.
Right.
That'd be wild.
The players themselves, the black players themselves, have to glad hand with that guy. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
And that's what going back to that situation, that it meant so much that they were so rapid with getting him out, meaning that that's something that they don't accept. Like the fact that you don't even have that option with JK. Like, you can't like kick JK out of Harry Potter. She made it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
So I definitely understand the difficulty here.
Yeah. There's one thing that's, because probably even with the Harry Potter, I know she has like a pseudonym as well. She writes other book series too, not just Harry Potter, but she is the grand architect of this. There is no like separation of church and state with it. For example, I'm a huge fan. We're all almost like Batman, right? With Batman, Bob Kane and Bill Finger, mainly Bill Finger, wrote the stories, but there have been so many other writers over the decades that have picked up the torch and written so many other great stories. With Harry Potter, primarily, it's just her words. This is just her text, and so there's almost no separation. With this game, for example, it's probably not, but with a lot of other stuff, the actual movies and books, it's just her words. So it's that much harder to separate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard I was gonna find out Batman didn't eat Gucci, bro. I had almost stopped to read any Batman thing. I was like, you telling me this nigga
that is one producer's whatever take. That's not
Right.
necessarily.
This
One-
man
one,
has
yeah.
all the skills in the world, and it's the one thing he does not. Oh, okay, whatever.
I can't buy that. You saw the Batman. Do you really think he wouldn't have done whatever Zoe Kravitz like? Yo, would you?
I don't care if he would have did it. I would have volunteered. Like, hey, move aside, little nigga. Me handle business real quick.
All right, so you telling Batman to step aside. You really want that problem?
Yeah, nigga, you want me to call Superman? I'll call Superman on that ass quick, boy. What you want to do? What you want to
You got
do?
Superman on speed, dog.
On God,
Do you-
bro. What you want to do?
Do you think his armor is bulletproof? Do you think his armor is like Superman proof? Like even Superman tries to punch it can still
Not that
withstand
armor.
too?
Not that armor.
Even if it's Superman, like just drop him in the water, like just.
Yeah,
He
I wondered
gonna
how
fall
well.
eventually. Like he's
Yeah.
wearing metal.
I may
Yeah.
like Superman more if he does that shit. Shit, me and Zoe walking off and that nigga over there struggling to live.
Struggling
he-
to live. Oh,
That's
He wanted to be on a
down
t-shirt
to-
so bad.
Like, but the thing is, you don't even have to like. He let her go on his own. Just go get her.
Mm.
yeah. I mean, that's the that's the horrible thing. But before we go, I have to say this real quick because I watched the movie again. And one of the things that I reviewed that I know y'all mentioned a couple of times, the idea that it seemed like Batman was killing folks by knocking them off the scoreboard and down to the water. All of them, the Riddler's men, were all hooked up to like these cables.
Yeah.
And so
when they were
anyone he
Oh,
punched or whatnot,
yeah.
they didn't fall off at all. They were just they hung up there the entire time. He didn't knock anybody off anything.
So he's just hanging people. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they still could die from extreme trauma to the face, but not from
Right.
falling.
we still got a good like 27 minutes. Is there any other projects or things that came out recently you guys want to give like a brief synopsis? Not synopsis, but it's a brief just thought on.
Shout out to Ranking of Kings because that anime has consistently been fantastic. Like,
It's subversive.
we have to do something on that at some point when because I think the episode just came out this past Sunday.
I'm gonna watch it
And-
then. Is it dubbed
It's
yet?
a good one.
No, not dubbed. It's definitely well, actually, it might be. 'cause
No,
on-
it's not.
on
'Cause
Funimation.
it's maybe on Funimation. I don't know if it's on. I don't know if it's done on Funimation, but it's not on Crunchyroll. It's not dubbed on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, Crunchyroll is usually kind of slow with their dub.
Yeah, they're very slow. It's only like 20 episodes, so it's very short.
Yeah, Funimation be
Yeah.
on it. I'm gonna check it out because I haven't watched it yet. I've been really confused with the vibe. I think me and Ethan had a little bit of a conversation on it. When I looked at it and people enjoyed it, I was like, okay, this is cool. It looks like a slice of life anime from like the picture that I saw.
It is
And
not.
yeah,
No,
Ethan
it
told
looks
me
almost
how
like
dark it
Studio
was.
Ghibli. It's not.
Yeah. It's
it's-
made to intentionally look very peaceful and friendly.
Yeah.
But it's a darker story there. It's a lot going on. And like I told E, it was a spoiler. Like there is a Elden Ring level boss fight in there. Like that's
Right.
there.
That's what I haven't gotten to that. Well, I can easily see it because you will see it very quickly early on. I won't get into spoilers about it, but it's similar or akin to Hunter x Hunter, where you have a seemingly lighthearted protagonist on the surface, so that when they kind of throw a very, very dark opponent in very early on, it's like that much more jarring. They do some of that. They do it at the point, I think it's in the first episode where they show like, oh my gosh, you're actually dealing with like this is the grand scale of how dark this gets. And what's fun about this show too is how the main character is deaf and mute. But he has the ability to he learns how to read lips over time, and he has a little friend he can actually talk with and everything. But it's you feel that you sympathize so much with this little guy. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Boji must always be
Boji.
protected. He is very precious.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest. He's Boji.
Another anime that's out, Kotaro Lives Alone on Netflix. That's another really heartfelt one. I know you probably know. Neither of you guys have probably gotten to that yet.
No, I'm gonna check it out next. Yeah,
I'm behind on a lot of anime actually. I gotta catch up on some anime.
You're a student. You have to work.
Yeah, right.
I don't got
The
to.
only reason why I've been able to watch it is because that's me and Felicia's thing that we do. We watch new shows together.
Look at this nigga be happy and shit.
Your happiness. Don't throw your happiness in our face.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm really not sorry because I'm happy as shit.
You're in Buffalo, so it's compromised.
Yeah, that is definitely the trade-off because nobody wants to be here. Trust me. Trust me.
No.
Shout out to Benny the Butcher, but you know he don't live here either more. So
That's the first thing you did. Gotta go.
yeah, better weather for me. But no, not really. He actually really does be out here. So let me not put him down like that. But yeah, like This is a lot of content that's been coming out this year. DMZ, Welcome to the DMZ on HBO Max with Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
We'll probably do
Yeah.
something talking about that soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's only
Don't
four many.
don't do it yet, Charlie.
I
You
ain't
know
saying nothing
you
yet.
always you
I ain't
always
s-
tell me we gotta save the clip. We gotta
I ain't
save
saving none yet. I gotta watch the other 2 episodes first. But that first
Yeah,
one was yeah.
Did they so 'cause I haven't watched the DMZ yet. Is it
Hmm.
did they release all 4 at
All
once?
four
Or
are out.
they
All
did?
four
Okay.
are out.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, basically it's one big movie then.
Yeah, they're long as shit. Them episodes be
Yeah.
Okay.
long, bro. I was like,
Yeah, you feel like it's four 1 hour episodes, and each one feels like an hour.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
like, I might just stop. Let me watch Game of Thrones. I'm not watching this shit. I'm gonna finish it up for whenever we plan to do a review on it. We gotta plan it out and I'll watch it. But yeah, I ain't about to use my spring break to watch that shit right now. I love
Yeah, I
Rosario
mean,
Dawson, but
she's
God.
great in it.
Yeah,
I will
she's
say that
great.
she is great. Rosario Dawson does her thing.
Yeah, she's one of those people that no matter what the project is, she's always like her and Nick Denzel. There's some people that
Yeah.
they always show up. It doesn't matter what's going
Mhm.
on. They
Her,
always show up.
her specifically in nerd shit. Like when I found out she was getting cast as probably my favorite character, almost
Ahsoka.
damn near my favorite character in Star Wars being Ahsoka Tano. Boy, I was
Yeah.
like, hey, yo, I was lit. I was excited as hell for
Get
that.
your money. Get your money.
Yeah.
Rosario
And she did a
Dawson.
great job at it.
She did a great
Like,
job as her the fully grown version of her. Spoiler.
right. I need
Yeah, she's also great as a night nurse in Daredevil.
Mhm.
The whole Netflix, which I
She was
imagine
the
she'll
only
come back.
watchable part of Iron Fist.
yeah.
I didn't even make it to her, and I
just-
can't.
I just really want to
I
know.
finished it.
I really want.
What's her name? That awesome martial art woman. What's her name? Otis.
Colleen Wing.
Colleen Wing.
Colleen
Wasn't she
Wing.
pretty cool though? The show?
She was pretty solid. Misty Knight was also pretty. Well, she was more so in Luke Cage than in.
Yeah,
Iron
she
Fist.
was.
She was there too.
Oh,
But-
okay. Okay.
I'm just
It
trying
Yeah,
was
to.
good things
let's
about-
surround Iron
Yeah.
Fist with a whole lot better women than actually the actual character. That's leading to the
Bottom
show.
line. Bottom line.
Hey
Right.
man, Women's History Month. Women's History
Yeah.
Month. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see Rosario. Let me take her on a coffee date. That's what that's all I'm trying to see.
You
Really?
realize that she's older than your parents.
And what the fuck they got to do with anything? She
I'm
ain't
just saying.
she's not my mother.
Hey, shout out to Leah. Age ain't nothing but a number.
No, don't
Fair.
don't say that. Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
Because you know who that song was for, and you know what age she was.
Oh,
when she
that's
made it?
no. But it's apropos for this episode. Way too apropos for this episode. But
I mean, I
Right.
feel like this is the first time I let that joke off. But I think, yeah.
no,
Oh, wait.
yeah, it's good. It's solid. It's solid.
So-
One thing I want to bring up real quick too. Obviously, Elden Ring came out before. I know we talked about it to death. I'm not gonna talk about it that much again. But I just started reading. It feels like a movie. Reading
I know, right?
the manhwa Solo Leveling, which is great, but there is a genre of mainly in anime and manga and manhwa storytelling where you have a character. The main character is essentially overpowered very early on, and just how it's a very interesting way to make that compelling. So many people in the West have problems with Superman because he's essentially an overpowered character that has been regarded as almost boring because of
Because
his
he
power.
is.
And to see how they, especially in Solo Leveling, see how to have a character that is overpowered and how they're able to make it,
Great.
consistent.
Like,
Yes, it's very, very great, but consistently interesting, consistently different. It's a lot of
There's
fun.
always tension being built up. There's always a hurdle that looks insurmountable until he gets there, and it's not. But I mean, they do a good job of like really making that person feel mortal while proving time and time again that he's better than everybody.
Right.
Right.
Like, that's just a formula that they have not gotten right with Superman or a lot of comic stuff, because when
Western,
people get too
Western
powerful,
comics.
you just get like, oh yeah, they're just gonna twist reality again or whatever. Like it's not a lot of stories told on like a max level power scale in either DC or Marvel that I just thoroughly enjoy. While opposed in anime and manga, they found a way in manhwa. I'm gonna get into manhwa. They found a way to still do that and make that compelling. They just found the right formula for it.
So you mentioned the formula. One thing I know Dev started watching that time I got reincarnated as a slime. One thing they do consistently that I've seen is they make the character essentially earn.
Right.
Huh? What?
What?
You talking about Rimuru? Yeah, Rimuru's
Yeah, they didn't. They got the formula halfway right. They stopped.
Well, I mean, early on.
Don't
Obviously,
spoil
season
some
one,
shit for me. I ain't finished it yet.
No.
goddammit.
We're not gonna say anything else. But the idea is with all these consistently,
Shout out to
even with Saitama, they have to earn their strength. With Superman, he was born that way. Basically, he had to earn it by his planet dying. Yeah, I got you there. But he just woke up on Earth, OP. With Sunji, I can't remember how to say his name in solo leveling and
Suyunji.
Suyunji, Rimuru, Saitama, even Saitama on some level, they all had to do something to earn their strength. And also, you see them when they're weak as hell. In one way, they're almost like the weakest of the weakest. So
honestly, anime one anime I saw that's done this very well, and where he didn't. Well, I guess he kind of earned it, but you don't see him earn it in the show. Is Overlord and Mr. Ainzo Gomes.
Yeah, Overlord. Yeah, he definitely earned it before that.
They did it right there.
Yeah, once he enters the world, he already comes in with all the cheat codes, all the knowledge of how things operate. But what happens instead of him being in danger all the time, they have it where he's essentially playing a video game in front of us. Like he's
right
playing the game, and then the stakes for him aren't high, but for other people that like other NPCs, he's basically like protecting NPCs and like growing his companions in that nature is essentially the equivalent, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very similar to Slime. Yeah,
it's done well. It's done incredibly well.
Both incredibly and incredibly.
Yeah, I enjoy the show.
No, I mean, we all love Overlord. That's a bit of a classic almost. But yeah, it's a great one too. But what's funny about that is it is like you said, it's in the backstory. He did all this stuff. Essentially, he also was a bit of a nerd. We can tell he was somewhat of an introverted nerd, and he earned all the credit and ability he had from playing the game for countless hours to do that. It wasn't just given to him; he had to earn it. Every inch he had to earn, essentially. So it's still in the same zeitgeist, and that's not the right word for it, but still in the same. It's comparable.
All right. Last story of the day, guys. This is gonna be something interesting. I heard about it a while ago, and I can't wait to talk about you guys. I've kept it a surprise from both of you guys. Real life. Keep in mind this is a real life event that's happening on in Japan. News reports that Japan's Killing Stone splits in two, and rumorly unleashing the nine-tailed fox spirit upon Japan. Yes. So it is believed that in the mythology surrounding Seisho Seki, or the Killing Stone, the object contains the transformed corpse of Tamano.
Probably Tomoe.
Tomoe, no, it's whatever. Contains that a beautiful woman who has been a part of a secret plot hatched by a feudal warlord to kill the Emperor Toba, who regained power from 1107 to 1123. Legend has it that her true identity was an evil nine-tailed fox whose spirit was embedded in the hunk of lava located in an area of Tochigi Prefecture near Tokyo, famous for its supliferous hot springs. Supliferous, that's the word for today. Apparently, its separation into two roughly equal parts, believed to have occurred within the past few days, has spooked online users who noted that, according to folklore, the stone continually spews poisonous gas, hence its name. The stone was said to have been destroyed and its spirit exorcised by a Buddhist monk who scattered the pieces across Japan, but many Japanese prefer to believe that it's the home on the slopes of Mount Nassau. I said Nassau. It's like spelled Nassau.
Yes, Nassau.
It's just Nasu.
Oh, it's not Nassau.
I need to get a Japanese somebody who speaks Japanese. Nasu. So apparently, our boy Kurama's out here wilding out in Japan now.
But so like what I got from that is you about to make a whole bunch of Naruto fans really happy. They can go start going on a nine-tailed fox hunt, like One Piece got the Gold Roger One Piece hunt.
Right. That's
right.
Yeah, combining 2 out of 3 of the big three. Right there.
If they go there, they need to stay over there because they ain't coming back with no damn Jinchuriki.
Well, I mean, shoot, if it ends up in Karakura Town, you get all 3 towns. So yeah.
But let's get into this real quick. Do you think in any reality there is like a nine-tailed fox spirit that can actually out there that we can see and deal with? It's gonna inhabit us.
See, in my personal belief, I for anybody that's wondering too, don't. I'm a Southern Baptist Christian, so you guys can not call me a blasphemer. Anybody watching, but I have a weird an unusual relationship with it, but it is upon my belief that there are too many coincidences. When you look across any culture across the world, if you look in the Aztec pyramids, you'll see a hieroglyphic about a snake, and then go to the Egyptian pyramids and see a very similar, if not exact, same hieroglyphic there. So for two places and multiple places within multiple different religious texts to have the same imagery across the world, there has to be some truth to something about that, especially when it comes to spirits and ghosts. And the nine-tailed fox spirit, I'd like to believe there's some truth to that. I don't know if it's an evil spirit or if it's even the spirit itself, or if it was just a person that was dressed like that for a while, or whatever it is. There had to be some form of a nine-tailed fox or some influence, no matter what that was, for people to believe that for so long, in my opinion. And it's the same with spirits, ghosts, demons, and all that stuff. I think it's, to some extent, it's true. I just don't know to what role these things play into society, and if they are friendly or if they're here for insidious purposes.
Okay.
Title card.
That's fair. That's you are more than welcome to your beliefs, my friend. I get that. I dig it. It's since the beginning of time, people have wanted something to believe in. It has given us hope. It has made things more interesting, and I strongly believe there are things beyond our understanding. Period. There are just things that we cannot explain, things that we're not meant to almost understand. That's what makes things worth living.
All right.
So yeah, fair enough. I don't know that this is actually. I don't even know what would happen to our reality if something like this existed, something like this unfolded in our world. It's a lot to deal with, but who knows?
All right. What's up, Craig? You late, nigga? You're late. Yeah. And on a similar token, Ethan, if it was wild, have you seen R.I.P.D. with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, I have. I think it's not that good.
No, I didn't hate it or enjoy it too much. What about you, Otis? What are your thoughts on a nine-tailed fox spirit coming around being actually existent?
Wait, why'd you bring up R.I.P.D.?
Because your whole thing about it, when you talked about it being or what is the world coming to, if that was a thing, I'm like, it could be a similar thing where in R.I.P.D. the whole thing is like that whole department is around and exists without the knowledge of us.
Oh, essentially a celestial power,
a whole other world that we're not in tune with.
Right.
And then you have so many people that say they have outer body experiences, or people that say they see things when they die. I'm like, some stories are too similar. Some stories you could say are fake because they heard them all. But hey, man, it's a possibility.
No, of course. No, I'm literally a comic book writer. My imagination is what keeps me fed. So I could be basically a hypocrite if I try to say no. That's stupid.
Right. No, but to quote to Sam Jackson, there are known knowns.
There are unknown
unknowns.
I hate this thing, bro.
Quoting Sam Jackson.
There are known knowns and there are unknown unknowns, and what we don't know, we don't know.
Exactly.
Yep.
But that's exactly how I feel. Like, there are too many things in the universe that reoccurred for there not to be some type of power out there. What that power is, I do not understand it. And I don't know if we are meant to understand it, but I do think there's something else out there. So could that thing be a nine-tailed fox demon? Possibly.
Yeah.
Could that thing be,
Thor, Odin, or
Thor? Yeah. Could it be Tony Stark out there looking down? I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, I do believe it exists for sure. Like, it's impossible that it doesn't.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know I have to do this one last time, and then y'all gonna hate me for it, but whatever. In Elden Ring, I know I just did this part. I'm 140 hours in, by the way, but this is a part where you get down. It's crazy what you have to go through to get this one part. I'm gonna show Dev later on.
No, you won't. Don't torture me, goddammit.
It is essentially what happens is you kind of meet a version of a god in this game, and it's the most surreal, like, mind-blowing thing, but it's kind of like watching your character be in all of it. It's like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel reality is too. There are things that are just our brains just simply can't handle. We can't process it. It'll put us into shock. So I kind of like the idea of there being things that are that much larger than us.
And to do another I forgot what this is called, the anecdote, euphemism, I don't know, some of those, but ignorance is bliss. Like, I would rather not know.
Oh yeah. Bro, I swear to God, people talk about wanting to go to space and shit like that, or exploring the ocean. I'm like, I'm okay with the ocean, but I do not. I repeat, do not need
I don't even know
us
for sure okay
go.
with the ocean, bro. 'Cause,
At
like,
least I don't want to disturb shit. I'm like, if shit's down
if
there
Godzilla
chilling.
is down there for real, I don't want to wake
Godzilla.
him up. I don't want to wake him
Well,
up.
have you not? Have
I'm
you
good.
not seen
I'm
the
good.
shit in the bottom of the Mariana? Well, the fish they said they found,
Yeah,
like in
it's
deep
it's
sea
like
fishing.
kaiju levels. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if it's down, you can stay there. You're good, bro.
Yeah, it's oof. Man. I do not want to go down there.
Down there, they're small, but when they come up and that pressure comes up off of them fish get huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
I'm good. It just brings up the idea that this world is so much bigger than us. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's all.
Craig asked, did y'all talk about the new Harry Potter gameplay? Initially, Craig, I thought about having us do a reaction to it, but in light of a conversation that we had with our friend Ben, and the interview we had with him, he's a developer, God of War Ragnarok, and worked on the new Harry Potter game. You'll see that interview coming up pretty soon, Craig, but we are not going to take part in promoting the game or marketing the game. I myself will be playing it, but I will not be streaming it or giving any other kind of light. And you'll see how we feel about that once that interview comes out, Craig. We know you're gonna watch it, so it's
Yeah, it's to each
I don't
their
see
own.
this
It's a
coming in the
complicated
chat.
issue.
all right.
Where is he? Is he in the Facebook chat? Dev?
He's coming from Facebook, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
This chat, if you look on the screen, like his chats are on the screen, on
Yes.
the chat box. There's
On the right side, I
Yeah,
see
they're,
that.
yeah,
I see
they're,
that.
yeah, they're it's a little hard to see, but yeah.
yeah, and I have the in the restream, I have the chat like pulled up right in front of me so I can see it big, so my blind ass can read it.
Yeah, we may have to figure out how to make that larger. So I don't know anyone's gonna be able to read that. But
Well, I don't know, bro. I was looking it up trying to get it bigger, but like all the videos I saw were streamers that had it, like they had it that size. So I don't know.
they did?
I don't know
Okay.
why. What I'll probably do, I'll change the color from black to white to kind of make it more contrast.
Yeah,
For next
that
time
may
we come
work.
in.
Yeah.
I think that's what it needs, just because you can't see the lettering on there too clearly. Bro.
Right. But I'll
Yeah.
switch that up. I threw it out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, we are getting towards the end. My last question I have for you guys that'll probably give us nothing to wrap it up. Have you guys heard about the theory that there are more doors than wheels in the world, or vice versa?
Wait,
More
more
doors?
doors than wheels?
Yes. Do you believe that there are more wheels in the world than there are doors?
Like wheels as far as on cars and
In general,
pulleys, all these
wheels
things.
in general, wheels on cars, wheels from Hot Wheels in general, any kind of form of wheel.
I feel like there are more doors than wheels, just because you don't always have to have a wheel to have a door. But like, if there's a wheel there, you're gonna need a door. A door is a requirement because you got to get inside of whatever that thing is that has wheels.
Well, they're not necessarily. I think, for example, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate. There are like pulleys. Pulleys technically, those are wheels. The mechanism inside
True.
those that turn those
Right.
gears. Those are wheels. But I'm gonna. Otis, you're saying that there are more doors than
I
wheels.
say more doors.
I'm probably gonna agree simply because there are so many buildings in the world, and lots of buildings don't need wheels.
Like,
in
if
them.
you watch The Matrix, that proves it right there in one movie. That there are more doors than wheels. 'Cause,
Sure.
like, how many hallways you go into? 40 million doors.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So that's our.
Fair
So
enough.
what's the actual?
But you got to
what do
keep
think?
in think about how many cars there are in the world, or like bikes, and there are at
But
least
every
2 to
single
4.
one of those, bikes. I didn't
Bikes,
think
there are
about
lots of
bikes.
Bikes,
You
cars,
don't need a wheel. You do not need a door
skateboards,
for a bike. Or
skateboards.
scooters.
Hot Wheels toys. Yeah.
I don't know.
But you got to
It's
think about
tricky,
with
bro. I'm
cars,
telling
though.
you.
But with cars, you remember with cars, there are always doors on cars.
True.
They may not always equal the amount of wheels.
2 to 4.
But
Then you're not even
always
thinking
at
about like
least-
semi trucks or dually trucks where it's like 6 to 18 wheelers.
True.
Right. And then there's also the idea of if it's a car, does a trunk, the trunk, does that
That's
door
also a
kind of a
door.
door, like a hatch? So there's
I don't count the trunk as a door.
That's a
some-
door.
It's a door technically.
it opens up
I
something.
thought if it
lets
was a
you-
door, they call it
so
a door, not a trunk. What about it makes it a trunk versus a door?
Well, the trunk is actually.
the trunk door. People say the trunk door.
I ain't never heard
Yeah.
anybody say that shit before in my
Well,
life.
they say it's put it in the trunk.
Put it
So
in the
to
trunk,
pop,
yeah.
Or if you go into a
The
building,
trunk
if
is
you think about
behind
this,
the door.
right, the
trunk
trunk
is
is behind the door.
behind the door.
if you go into a
Aye.
building, you don't say open the building. You say open the door, and you go into the building. So
Oh, no,
there's
bro.
always a door on top of something or in front of something that you go into.
Well, no, 'cause hold on. Well, I see your point. I see what you mean. I don't know. That we'll have
All
to,
right.
we'll have to agree
Think
to disagree on
about
that
think
one.
about your where you live right now in the
Truck
dorms.
door.
In the dorms, Charlie.
Yes.
Do you see more doors or wheels while you're walking through your dorm?
Just the hallway.
I mean, when I'm walking out of my dorm, there's nothing inside this building. There are nothing but doors here.
Yeah.
But if you're going through a parking lot, or you're going
Yeah.
through a car show, or
Yeah.
you're going through an airport, well, not being an airport because there's only like
How many people do
wheels.
you know that live behind those doors that don't have cars?
In my building, that's tough because there are like parkings, like there's hard to find parking here. So sometimes it feels like every damn person that lives here has a damn car because you're driving around 15,000 hours trying to find a parking spot.
But how many times you get called for a ride because they don't have a car?
Right. Yeah.
Never. Because niggas know not to ask me for a ride. There are
well, think
three
about
niggas
Lyft.
here
Think
I'm
about
giving a ride.
ride share. Like
Yeah.
Lyft and Uber are making all kinds of money because there are plenty of people that don't have cars. Plenty of people in New York, especially in other parts of Europe.
I mean, if we're going by that logic, how many homeless niggas we know in cities that don't have doors?
That's true. But there's still, even if there are homeless people, there's still buildings that people don't live in that have lots of, like, think about an office skyscraper that no one lives in. All the doors there in that building.
Mm-hmm.
And did you count a pulley? You say you counted a pulley as a door?
Yeah, I'm saying that's an example of wheels that are
as a wheel.
that doesn't need a.
So in that case, are we not going to count like cogs and gears as wheels?
I don't think that counts.
They're just wheels, but they're shaped
they,
differently.
I think in order for it to be an actual wheel, though, it has to be able to roll across a surface, kind of like in of
Gears
itself.
can't roll across the surface?
I don't know that that's what they're designed to do.
I mean, they're designed to roll. They just have
to move around like that. I don't know. It's a weird
semantics at this point, I guess.
It's semantics. We're splitting hairs within hairs.
Yeah. Well, I thought that conversation.
I'm gonna stick with doors though.
I think it's doors. In the end, I think it's because you mentioned with cars, there are still doors on cars. They may not always equal the amount of wheels, but they are still there.
Craig brought up, is a wheel anything that spins like a cog or escalator or a Ferris wheel?
So a Ferris wheel, I mean, it's in the name.
Right.
You probably could count that. Would you count that? Oh, Ferris wheel as a wheel.
It's wheels in the name. You have to.
It's wheel in the name. Like steering wheel. Wheel is in the name of that too.
So right. So that's a wheel.
Then if you're using
anything, but I still say doors.
If it's in the name.
I mean, hey, I don't disagree with you or agree with you now. I don't know, but somebody got to fight for the wheels. Somebody got to hold it down for the wheel side. Because there's a wheel, there's a way, and we are the wheelest.
Really?
Niggas. We are the wheelest niggas in the world. So we gotta hold it down.
We starting wheel puns now. Wheel puns. I mean,
no, we're not. No, we're not.
I can bring back Shaboing Wong if you want.
Nope, we're not. Nope. You're not doing that.
There's one or the other. You got to pick your poison. What you want on this one?
The wheels on the bus go round and
round. There we go.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been a great episode of the Then and Now podcast. Thank you guys for we have 5 people now, but for everybody that's been watching, we appreciate you. We appreciate the support. For some plugs, we have a lot of stuff coming out. Go ahead, you guys. You want to go to plug Briarlands or like let people know what's coming up with that, or are you gonna wait to announce that?
We're still waiting on that, I think. I mean, we of course we're putting out art for it. E has been posting that all over social media, which we definitely appreciate. I think we're just waiting for the final logo to come out, and then just start pushing some promo for it pretty heavily from there. But we're really excited about that one. Of course, you got the bag show, on Tuesdays. That's a partner with our partners at Metro Esports. We're getting ready to have a tournament this upcoming Friday for Mortal Kombat. We should be announcing that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So officially tomorrow.
Make sure I go check out the blurred roundtable, or did they change it from the cartels to the roundtable?
It's roundtable. Yep.
Yeah. Check out the roundtable. Our boy Craig's gonna be on that. Cam, all those guys on there for debates and all that good stuff. We ourselves, myself, and my compatriot, one of my best friends, Mr. Jeffrey Pinkney, are getting ready to release The Son of Shaitan relatively soon, who have all the art done for that. So then and now we have 2 comics coming pretty well. Yeah, I think your Briarlands is a comic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got 2 comics coming. We have dope content coming to you guys just outside of the podcast in general. So thank you guys for the continued support. I appreciate and love everybody that's even watched us a second, and we do this just for you. Again, this has been the Then and Now podcast, greatest podcast in the world, and we will see you guys next time. Shaboing.